Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Registered Ranching Podcast. It's Tucker Brown and Willie Wardle behind the mic today. Beautiful town of Throckmorton, Texas. Welcome in, Willie. Oh, whoa. Your mic is off.
Very quiet.
There it is. It is what?
It's a very quiet morning. That's why you couldn't hear me at first, is because of how still it was out this morning.
Yeah, beautiful Saturday morning in the busy area of downtown Throckmorton in the, what do we call it? The
borough.
Mitchell's Mercantile Studio.
Yeah.
We're back in the studio.
We
went mobile for a little while.
We were mobile.
Hit out to Amarillo. Got some great podcasts in.
Some Floridians.
And we're back, and this is kind of the first quote unquote Tucker Brown experience.
Yeah. The very first
episode of the Tucker Brown experience.
Congratulations. It was
wow.
It's nice to be here for it.
I don't have my mics ready.
It's quite fun.
Yes, I want to welcome to the Tucker Brown Show experience.
Dum.
I need music that I could add to make it better.
Dum.
Welcome to the podcast, Jess Pryles, Hardcore Carnivore.
Hi.
Jess Pryles.
It's good. Oh, you do? You have sound effects. Yay. Great.
That's actually our live audience watching live in another room.
Of course.
It's live
of course.
Feed.
Yes.
Of course it is. Jess
Makes
Pryles,
sense. Hi.
Hardcore Carnivore.
Stoked to be here.
A beef chef. You've been on TV shows. You have your own TV show. You have your own seasoning. You have your own sausages. You do a lot.
I
Holy
do a lot.
cow.
Yeah, I know. You know what that's like because you also do a lot.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it that way, though.
I do. I don't know how I would feel if I wasn't as busy. There are days that you wake up and go, oh man, it's another day. But then I feel like if I woke up and didn't have a lot to do, I'd be like just sitting there doing this, twiddling thumbs.
Yeah,
So I'm happy about it.
Carly, she can tell whenever I do have those days. Like, those days are nice to have every once in a while. And then she can tell, like, right whenever my flip switches of, like, my switch flips. Is that right? Yeah, there we
knew what
my
you
flip
meant.
switches.
Yeah.
Right when my switch flips of, like, I need something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heard.
Because I don't know what it is that I do, but she was like, "You're bored, huh?"
You could just
Yeah, I am.
How about you go mow the lawn or something?
I need something.
Yep.
But yeah, so the reason this is kind of one of the first Tucker Brown experiences.
Yeah, tell me.
So I've had this idea of a way. The problem of this podcast is that I do all of them in person,
Okay.
and it's a good problem because I think it makes for a way better podcast,
Agreed.
Yeah.
way better interviews. Selfishly, I get to meet some really cool people, make some really cool contacts. Then, but how do you get people to Throckmorton? I mean, you're 4 hours from here.
I know, but I literally came here for you.
It's kind of out of the
Yeah,
way of
so-
it.
but if it was just like, hey, will you
bit.
come talk behind a microphone for an hour?
That I can see that's a little tougher. So
Yeah.
what, you're going to set up in the DFW airport or?
No. So no,
Actually, we have a plane.
a plane.
That we fly around and do.
No, yeah, the what we did yesterday, which we'll get more into, I want to add into the podcast
Okay.
so that it'll give me, like I've known you for a couple of years,
Yep.
but if it's somebody that I don't know, but like I can get them on horseback, I can.
You
we
can
cook
get
a
them
steak
to really learn a cow from the inside out.
from the inside out.
Yeah.
I mean
So that's the Tucker Brown experience.
that's the experience.
It was a real experience.
It was, and then I think that helps. I think that can help me get people here. It's like you're not just coming to talk behind a mic for an hour.
Yeah, you can
I mean,
learn how to ranch.
You're gonna ranch with me.
Yeah,
we're gonna eat some
ranch
beef.
with him.
We're gonna eat some beef. We're gonna ranch on them.
We did.
We're gonna eat some beef.
Do you feel like you can also now, after yesterday, give them the grilling masterclass?
Masterclass.
chops?
I don't know about the masterclass.
No?
But
Okay.
I can't call it a masterclass because I know it's not a masterclass.
He can tell me it's a master class.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I went too far first because I want to know. Tell us more about Jess Pryles.
I'm originally from Australia, as you might hear. I know, shocking.
No way.
I know.
What?
It's not New Zealand.
Is that a Kiwi? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, we don't call it. Listen, the Kiwi Australian thing, I know you've had plenty of interns from both, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the America-Canada thing. Like, we are pretty good mates. We'll go to war together, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're like our little brother that we like to wear.
Still a little
okay.
disrespect if someone calls you a Kiwi.
Yeah, and, oh yeah, shocking. And Australia does have more sheep per capita. I just want to
Really?
put that out there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Flex.
Yeah, well, we have a lot more land mass
That's
than
true.
they do as well.
But I figured per capita, Australia would also have a lot more people. But per capita, you have more sheep. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we have the same. So Australia has the same population as the state of Texas. So
Dang.
it's a little skewed by
That's
comparison.
That's crazy.
But yeah, isn't that? Did you not know that?
No, I thought there'd be more people in Australia.
Well, the problem is that the whole middle of the country is uninhabitable. So
Empty.
I just feel like I know a lot more Australians.
Isn't it wild? It's wild that an island is a desert.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a large island, but it's still an island.
it's weird. It's nearly like the phrase "desert island" never existed.
Okay, so you come from
I know.
Australia.
I'm sorry. I come from Australia. I moved to Texas 10 years ago, and I'm a live fire cook. I guess I go by meat expert. I've got a graduate certificate in meat science. And I was someone who did not have an ag background. I came from a very urban city, 5 million people, Melbourne, Australia. And
Is that like almost all of the people in Australia?
I think it's nearly 6 million there now. 26 million? Anyway. The short version is that I didn't really know how to cook steak. I loved eating it. I was just kind of intimidated by it. Wasn't sure about how it was raised, all that kind of stuff. And I came to Texas. I just left it as something I ate out when I went to restaurants. Came to Texas as a tourist, and when you come here, people take you to Lockhart, barbecue capital of the world, of Texas. And I had my first taste of Texas barbecue. It was amazing. And I tried to go back home, and I thought, I'm going to do a brisket in my small apartment oven. Like, this is going to crush. And I went to my butcher, and I didn't understand why the brisket that they handed me looked absolutely nothing like any brisket I'd seen in the States.
Huh.
So that moment alone led me down this kind of rabbit hole of wanting to understand more. I was sick of being frustrated by not just, you know how to pick a tomato and you know how to like do other things in the grocery store, but meat is a department for people that is just, they don't know what's up, and it can be really confusing. So that's where it started, and I started sharing what I was learning along the way with a lot of folks. Through a blog at the time and now on social media, just be it cooking tips, be it different things about meat. And I guess I found my passion, and now I tell everyone else how to cook meat.
What were you doing before becoming this meat scientist?
Just random. I had a degree in communications. And I'd done so many
you still use it.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, everyone always says that, and here's the reality, right? Like, I don't think I've used one thing. You either got it or you don't.
Oh.
Like, you didn't go to school for this, and you got it.
Yeah.
Y'all do. You either got it or
agree
you
with
don't.
her.
You can't learn.
Willie's got it.
Yeah, Willie, you got
I
it.
didn't even finish school. Yet. Yet's a powerful word.
Crushed
Yet.
it.
One of these days, I'm going to get on the computer and do some online stuff.
So you went to uni, got a communications
uni.
degree.
Went to uni. Got a community. Do you want me to do some R&R as well?
R&R. I went to uni and then I saw me a couple kangaroos. That's not bad, is it?
It is bad.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Tried.
How many people try to show you their Australian accent?
I don't know. My husband's is probably one of the worst. Sorry, babe.
It is hard though.
Well-fed
you hear the
Chris
accent.
in the peanut
Well-fed
gallery.
Yeah.
That's his Instagram name. I think it's really good.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
It's a great Instagram
That's a
name.
brilliant name.
He really lives up to it. He does a good job. I was doing all kinds of random stuff. Like I was doing a bit of management. I did hi-fi systems for a hot minute. I was trying to find what I wanted to do, just bouncing around, and this was that thing, you know. And I think a lot of people when they leave school, maybe it's different for people for ag families because it's kind of laid out in front of you, like this is the path you'll go into, but for a lot of kids, when you're in school and the careers counselor comes and tells you what you should do, like it can take a hot minute to figure out where you should be in life, and it's okay if you pick that up a little later.
Yeah, I think it's the whole ag deal has been, like, for this generation has been tough, because it felt like in the United States it skipped a generation from my grandparents to my generation, because my grandparents, like that generation, worked really hard. The World War II era and
A lot of
tough
adversity.
times. Yeah, a lot of adversity and not much money. And they were like, "Hey, I'm sending my kids somewhere else. Like they gotta they can make a good living. And then now the grandparents are, towards the end of their lives, and my generation's coming in, and the grandparents is like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If this generation wants to be a part of it. But if you do want to be a part of it, the value that you have to buy in is extreme.
Astronomical.
Yeah.
Just because of how everything's changed over the years and inflation and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
It's
just
crazy.
to buy, so for here, land goes for $2,000 an acre about, which doesn't sound bad, but to some people who, it's like, near Austin, it would be crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. It depends what doesn't sound bad. Like,
Yeah.
if you're looking at it from someone who doesn't have a ranch, and you don't realize how many acres you need to feed that many. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. I can understand that makes it a very different price.
It would take, here it takes about 25 acres to run a cow. And a cow's right now worth about $3,000. So if you did one cow,
It's $50,000.
$53,000 to start your first cow.
That's wild.
Good luck.
And then to make a living, you need they say about 400 cows.
Have you made a video like that?
I haven't really, no.
Because I know you talk to a lot of ag people, but
Yeah.
one thing that I love about the content that you do is sometimes it does jump over and there's just like everyday folks who aren't connected to this. And I think it would be
Yeah.
so interesting for them to understand those numbers and the calculations behind it.
That'd be,
It would be.
you gave me another good idea yesterday. I need to write it down.
Okay.
Where's the notepad?
Did you already
Where's
forget
the
it?
notepad? Huh?
Did you already forget it?
Sort of. We're going to have to talk after this. Yesterday was a big day. I was
I
tired.
remember it. I know. I was tired. We didn't even tell everyone what we've talked about what
Yeah.
happened
Okay,
yesterday.
so the Tucker
tell
Brown
them the Tucker
experience.
Brown experience. She even got to use spurs, too.
She
I
did.
did. Thank you. That
She
was
got
very
outfitted.
generous.
Yeah,
I wasn't
so,
using them.
Jess and Chris came in yesterday and took a little tour around the ranch, what we do, what we have, and then we saddled up. We got Snapchat saddled up, we got Trump saddled up, and we got Firefly saddled up for Chris. Mm-hmm. And then we moved a few cows. We unloaded the wagon. We set up the pit.
You're missing a real important part
Yeah,
here.
we got
But
down
the best
and dirty.
part, we did. We got hands in,
Hands
Yeah.
in.
not just hands on.
Yeah.
We got hands in. We
metaphor.
had a fall bred.
Elbows deep.
Yeah, we had a fall bred cow, and I was like, "Hey, Jess, some people most people say no to this, but I want to give you the opportunity. Do you want to palpate a cow?" And she goes,
So that's literally my response. It took me a hot minute.
Yeah.
I didn't say no right away. I
You
just like
didn't,
to
yeah.
put that on the record.
You did
please.
not say no. You did not say no."
Did not.
And but she palpated it, felt the baby,
Yeah.
and then the cow shot at her,
Yeah, many times. It was like on automatic. And then
and it didn't even get on you.
I backed out of that thing so fast.
And we were going to ultrasound the calf, and the ultrasound machine was dead, so that was sad.
That was
I
on-
rather
that was
like
on
not
us.
knowing. I rather like just that my hand knew what was up.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Well, back in my day, we didn't have no ultrasound
Fancy
machines.
ultrasound.
I had to just do it by hand.
Do it
That's
by
right.
hand.
That's right.
But and then set up the wagon, started the fire. We cooked corn dip. We cooked hardcore carnivore
That
sausages.
corn dip was really good.
I found her myself on that stuff.
It's so good.
I love it.
It's very good.
It did turn out better than I thought it would over that really hot fire.
Yeah. You can make anything work. And then we cooked some ribeyes, like big
some
ribeyes.
big rib. Those had to be 2.5 inches.
Yeah,
Check
they
out
were
the YouTube video to
thick
see what they
boys.
look like, because
Yeah.
they were
They were great.
Yeah, we can talk about it, or you can just see it, which is probably going to be.
do both.
We can do both. And then we cooked a picanha.
Yes.
an
So
Ari
what
Brown
did you
Ranch
think?
picanha. I
I know
I've
you've
done
had it
both.
before.
I've done both. I've smoked it and I've cut it into
steaks.
steaks because I've seen your video about where you bevel that
Edge.
edge down on the fat cap, and because I was trying to, as you were talking, I was like, I've seen this somewhere, and you're like, I've done a video. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen your video.
You've had picanha like that before, right?
I don't know if you have.
No, I don't think I have.
What'd you think?
I loved it.
Yeah?
I loved everything. I don't even know what I was eating. I got confused of which was which, but it was great.
Picanha being the sirloin cap.
Top sirloin cap.
Yep, top sirloin cap.
Also called the culotte. Also called, if for all our Australians out there, rump cap.
Oh, okay. It's interesting they've kind of changed the names here recently of some cuts. Like what there used to be the beef flap, which now I hear called bavette.
Bavette,
Much
yeah.
more than I
Well,
hear beef flap.
I mean,
Bavette
yeah.
sounds a lot more.
It's
appealing.
Yeah, it does. And then same with the sirloin cap, top sirloin cap. Like
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't
think
sound
it's 'cause
bad, but then you say picanha and you're like, ooh.
It's because of the
Thank
Brazilian restaurants made it so famous with that, getting them onto
the
the skewers
skewer.
in that C shape. Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool that they do that.
is.
Well, what were your thoughts? I mean, you got to ride Snapchat, got to go move some. It was a little warm.
It was a little warm, but the Tucker Brown experience is something I can definitely give a 5-star to.
Nice.
But
Let's
seriously,
go. Let's
there
go.
you go.
5 stars.
Speaking of 5-star, if you haven't given the show a 5-star review, go do that now. Helps the show out a lot.
There you go.
I've been working out every single day to muscle people to do 5 stars, and if they don't, I'm not very far. They probably can get 3 stars, and they'll still beat me up. But just do the 5 stars for being a good person.
Yeah.
Just be a good guy.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
I had a blast yesterday. I've never palpated a cow before.
Check that off.
That
the
was
list.
tick. The thing is, there's always something new to learn. And for me, like, first of all, we're friends. It's always great when we get to hang out.
Absolutely.
But anytime I get to be around people who are such experts in their field, that have such amazing experience, like, why wouldn't you take that opportunity?
Yeah.
There's something new I'm going to learn about that. And I think I've got a responsibility as someone who talks about meat a lot online and promotes it. That's how I kind of started with this. That's how I ended up. I remember when I started getting into the whole meat thing, pretty early on, I said to myself, like, I'm going to need to see how this is processed to be cool, to make sure that everything's cool. And I ended up going to, they call them abattoirs, slaughterhouse in Australia. And I remember so distinctly, like, walking onto the kill floor. And it's not like I wanted to, but
That's
I just felt
surprising
like
they
I
let
had
you on.
to. Yeah, Well, but that was the thing. Like, I think the industry was so ready for people to advocate for them instead
Yeah.
of just try and show
hide
bad
it.
sides or things out of context.
Yeah.
And so for me, that ranching is still the next, it's the next level. And you guys live and breathe it. It's you just wake up and know what to do. And I kind of know what to do on the grill and understand a little bit about the meat process. But so much of that happens on the ranch itself, and especially with the genetics.
Yeah. All the AI and embryo transfer, and
Yeah.
it was cool because we got to see the whole story yesterday from the the calf in the belly, using the genetics, calf in the belly, all the way to the steak on the grill, steak on the plate.
Yes.
I mean, we got the whole experience yesterday. You're in such a unique spot, being, and don't hate me for using the word, but like this meat science influencer, for a lack of a better term. Do you have a better term?
No, no.
Okay,
Not
so
on a Saturday
this
morning.
meat science influencer, that's kind of probably more faced towards the consumer,
Yes.
since they probably know the least about the product.
Sure.
But you're in between these ranchers who are trying to understand why consumers don't know. And so you're in this interesting situation. I feel like interesting.
It is.
Spot.
It's weird. So you and I, both have an audience and an engaged audience, but they're actually completely different.
Yeah.
And I probably have more foodies and people who are looking for things like, hey, this is not blood, this is myoglobin, and let me tell you why. Let me cut through a lot of the myths and tell you where your meat comes from and the real version. And I think from what I've seen of your audience as well, even though you do reach new people too, like, people are so happy to have you out there as a representation for this life that they have, that they're so proud of, that I think often doesn't get enough credit, honestly.
Well, there's not much, a lot of times we get into ag to get away from people.
Yeah.
Not really to go to them.
Yeah.
And so there's the people representing our industry haven't been us.
How's that been? So you grew up here in
Yeah.
Throckmorton. How has it been for you going from someone who lived, what's the population here?
730.
Oh, really?
730.
Wow. We're not even into the four
Which
digits.
I don't even think that's accurate.
Don't you think it's less than
I
that?
think it's less. I've not seen 730 different people living here. There's no way.
So you grew up in a town of less than 1,000 people. Obviously, you went off to college, but how has it been having the world open up to you through social media? Because I'm sure you've also seen a side of it that is probably why you don't go around people so much.
Yeah. That is probably the part I enjoy most is reaching those that don't know or want to know. Even if they don't want to know, I kind of enjoy that banter. But there's just everybody enjoys talking about the things they do. Like you enjoy probably talking about how you're cooking a steak.
I just enjoy talking. Ask my husband.
Same. Same. So if you get to ask a rancher about his cows, his chest kind of puffs out a little bit.
Let me tell you.
And then I get to do that for a living almost.
Yeah.
Like that's the way I get to look at it. But I went to a non-ag college. And so I was surrounded by people who didn't know. Even though they were in West Texas, like, didn't know. And that's when my eyes were kind of opened of like, oh, I'm kind of, like, not that I'm smarter than any of these people, but the experience I have is one that very few.
But that's so had. We've come at it from complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Literally.
I used to only see animals once a year at the Royal Melbourne Show, which is like our version of the State Fair. They have the little petting zoo with the little lambs and things. And because remember, we have more sheep than New Zealand. That's why we have the lambs.
Flex.
Just want to really reinforce that.
Flex
the
one
New
more
Zealanders
time.
watching. But like the whole, just everything about it, like the clothes you wear, the starched jeans, like when you wear the different hats. Like in Australia, there's a ag uniform which is R.M. Williams, and a white and blue checkered shirt. And there's a whole, I'm just talking about outfits, but there's a whole culture that I was not exposed to whatsoever. And I guess conversely, you were like, oh, there's people here who don't know what fresh grass smells like.
Right. But it is cool because they want to know more than ever. Like I think even since COVID, people probably want to know more than ever how to cook their beef than ever in my lifetime. And so even I do a little bit of cooking stuff, not that I'm the master class chef or the beef chief, but they want to hear it from somebody wearing a cowboy hat for some reason.
I hear that. I mean, that makes sense, And the irony is, like, you can specialize in. There's so many different areas that you have to go through before that meat hits your plate. Like, I think you're specialized in, obviously, the breeding and the growing, and then there's the processing and the meat science, and then you can specialize in the cooking. So there's a lot of different hats that people can wear in that one area. But I don't know, man. I just think it's so fascinating to come at it from a completely different perspective.
For sure.
And especially having, I had no idea about that kind of stuff. Like I haven't had a chance yet, but once I send the photo of my mom of a glove up to here, I think she, sometimes she's like, I still can't believe that how did you grow up in such an urban environment? And this is what and you're elbow deep now. It's amazing. But she's proud of it.
Was the video good?
I think it was great.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't. Did Chris get a good shot?
Chris got some Slusher, who was here with us yesterday.
That was cool. Meat and slush.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
He's a cool dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
I missed him. I was putting the tables away when he left. Never got to say bye.
His son was super stoked to meet you.
His son is
nice.
Well, his son and I,
Billy's famous.
We just had that conversation about visiting cities. Because especially around here, everyone's like, I'll never go to a city. I hate the city. And Tucker and I are like, kind of like visiting the city every once in a while. Like we were in Amarillo, and not like Amarillo is this huge town, but like I think it was the last day we went with some great people from Florida and went to a baseball game, minor league game. Shout out Sod Poodles. Yes.
Poodles.
See,
Yeah, no, I've been
to
Amarillo.
And like Tucker and I were just like, it was like a Field of Dreams moment. Like Tucker and I just looked at each other, I was like, dude, like this is just a perfect night, like with some great people.
It was fun.
He almost caught a home run catch.
Almost.
Missed it, but I mean, I was gonna give him a hard time, but I probably would have done the same thing. It was coming in hard. It's like you don't want to try and just barehand it, so he's trying to catch it with his hat. So it was difficult. Anyways, but like talking to him, and like they live in Dallas.
Yeah.
But then they just got back from a 3-week adventure going across the entire Northwest and ending finally coming back down here. And like he's just like, I get to do all these great adventures, and then I go to school. Like I have all the great stuff that comes with living in a city too. And like he recognizes that balance. But yeah, just super cool kid. And like same thing with him, like super willing to learn. Like imagining, like I guess some of the people watching this, like if you've gone to day work somewhere, like you show up somewhere, it's a whole new outfit, someone you've never worked for, like it's kind of nerve-wracking at first. Like, you don't want to be the fool. Like, I know a couple times going with Casey, it's like, all right, don't make yourself look like an idiot here. Like make a good representation. So it's super nerve-wracking. And then they're doing that every single place they go. So, like, they're putting themselves in a place that's super uncomfortable. And, like, the same thing, like, with you. And just that willingness to want to learn something new, push your comfort zones, and put yourself out there. And I think, like, for that young of an age, for him going and doing that, that's pretty darn cool. I think that's going to set him up for a lot. But, yeah, great people.
Yeah, good.
Great people.
And an amazing photographer. Wait till you see the photo.
Very
I
talented.
can't wait. I can't wait.
If you don't follow him on Instagram, he's a cool
Flush your
account to
photo.
follow. Yeah.
And so what made you think you needed, what was the moment that you came to the States and you were like, all right, I need to be a meat scientist, like more than a chef?
How did that start?
That came later.
Because not every chef is a meat scientist or has education like that, correct?
Most are not.
Okay.
So
Because they don't need to be. It's a little different. And I'm not a chef. Like, I didn't go to culinary school. I just taught myself how to cook. And so there's another thing that we have in Australia called tall puppy syndrome, where you're not supposed to be boastful of your achievements, like just as a culture.
Okay.
So you'll hear, like, I just heard it myself then with, like, I'm not a chef. Like, well, I've cooked a little bit, but I just don't want to claim that title, you know?
Yeah.
But, I got into the live fire cooking first. That was the love, because I loved how it tasted. Like, it really can't get more basic than that. You know, you love the way barbecue tastes. You love the way grilled steak tastes. So I wanted to learn how to make it myself. And then I found that really fascinating. And then once I started to do that, I started unlocking by accident all these other things. So it was like, oh, okay. Like, let me learn what a ribeye is. Let me learn how you choose the steak. Oh, that's not actually difficult. Like, turns out in Australia, Scotch fillet is what they call a boneless ribeye. So the amount of people who don't know that a ribeye and a Scotch fillet is the same thing, but something has a bone in it. And we have versions of that here, with different cuts. And that was like that, oh my God, I'm unlocking all of these secrets. That was fascinating. And then as you go along, I ended up going to brisket camp at Texas A&M as a camper. They do two schools. They do a barbecue camp and a brisket camp every year. And it's a 2-day course, like 60 or 8. There's a 5-year waiting list now. It's nuts.
Holy cow. Where's it at?
At A&M. Yeah, in College Station. Are you not going to whoop in the background? I thought we might get a whoop. There you go.
Gig 'em.
But they have a meat science center. I didn't even know it was a thing. A lot of people don't even know that it exists. And they wheeled in this side of beef on the rails into this classroom. And I thought that was about the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And then they started talking about all kinds of stuff like, this is where it comes. I'm like, oh, this is all the stuff I've wondered about butchery, but it's happening in front of me. And there's professors teaching it. This is so cool. So then I became more interested in meat science, and I was reading about different principles that, might affect the cooking more than anything. So like what food safety. It's so many people. I make these videos over and over. Do you know how many people throw meat out from their freezer just because it's been in there for 2 years, so they assume that it's not good anymore, because no one has taught them like when is it safe to eat from a freezer? Is it just a quality loss? There's so much unknown, and we're also taught to be scared of it because, again, when a tomato's rotten, but it's never going to get you sick if you cook it wrong. So meat's just this like final frontier, I think, for a lot of cooks. And then when you understand all the principles, that's what was really interesting to me. Okay. And then I only went back in 2020 as a very mature age student.
But that's a big decision. To go back at that time.
It was I did it at Iowa State because they had an online course. There's no way with running Hardcore Carnivore and doing all the stuff I do under my own name that I could have actually just, like you can't pause life to go back to school.
Well, I know, that's what I was thinking. Like, how would, if I thought of me going back to school now, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Let alone like leave, if I had to leave Throckmorton, uproot the family, move houses. But you did it online, which is still a huge feat.
Yeah, it was still a course where I still had to sit there and do the lectures and then do it, the classwork and do the exams. And I went in person for one of the modules, which was the project. We did a bacon project, and I wanted to kind of see campus and have that experience, so we decided to do that there. But You still, it is hard, whether it's an MBA or doing whatever it is hard to find the time with a full-time,
Yes.
2 full-time jobs to do that. So, but it was important to me. I felt like I knew a lot of stuff that I wasn't getting enough credit for. And it was really important to me to learn the correct thing. So if you're going to go out there on social media and talk about things, y'all see so much. You must see it in whether it's bull riding or ag or whatever it is. You're like, get out of here. Like, where did you get off making that video? And no one checks you on social. There's no one comes and gets you if you're telling the wrong thing. That's why everyone tells you to check your sources. But for me personally, just ethically, it's always been really important to spread correct information. So that's why I want to go back.
Well, I mean, I find it interesting that you were able to go from, I enjoy Texas barbecue, I'm going to move here. I mean, maybe not the sole reason, but a part of the reason you moved here.
Yeah.
I love Texas barbecue, to I have my own TV show, I have my own cookbooks, I have my own seasoning, I have built a large platform on social. I mean, that doesn't just happen.
That's the hustle. That's the hustle that you have, that people like us have. Like, I moved to Texas because I also love Texas. It wasn't just for barbecue.
Yeah.
But everything, like, you have your social channels, you have a podcast, you have so much, you have merch, you have all this stuff that you're getting involved in. And I think in the same way as I said, there's certain things you can't teach in the classroom. Hustle is one of them. And you're either someone who wants to be busy and constantly doing stuff and thinking of the next idea and getting excited about executing it. And that was it for me too.
Huh. I mean, when did the Hardcore Carnivore seasoning come about?
That was like a year in after I moved here. So it was 9 years ago. We'll have our 10th anniversary next year.
Wow.
God, I know. And as someone who had learned to cook and learned the challenges, even little stuff, right? Like, how come restaurant steak has such an amazing crust on it and I can't get that at home? Well, if you've never worked in a commercial kitchen, you don't know that their burners are huge industrial burners and they're going to get hotter than anything that we have in our home stoves. So you're going to get a different kind of sear and all this kind of stuff. And I had the idea, activated charcoal was being used a lot in a lot of different stuff, like health shakes and things like that at the time. I thought, I wonder what that would be like to cook like. And I mixed up some stuff at home and started using it on steaks and realized that it kind of, like, there's something about the grit that created this amazing bark and crust that helped that develop. And then the flavor, like, that's such a tiny amount of it. This is our black seasoning, the one that you like. It's our bestseller.
I love that black stuff.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that alone. Can't touch.
Willie.
Let that.
What it is, it's a black substance.
It sure is.
And
sure is.
Tucker's always like, "What seasoning?" I was like, "I want that black stuff."
He does like it.
It is called black. But yeah, it has obviously a flavor profile in there. It was very important to me to just, I want my steak to taste like steak.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of seasonings are too in your face and you're tasting chili pepper and all that kind of stuff instead of the really great taste of the meat. And I thought, you know what? I've got a pretty engaged audience. I had a couple of T-shirts. Like, when you started your merch way back when, you're like, oh, well, I may as well have, I have one that says steak and bourbon, a complete meal, and we still have that in the line today. So I got a quote on what it would take to commercially produce it, and it was, I don't know, something like 500 bottles. And I thought, oh, God, that's a big investment. But I guess if if it all goes south, everyone just gets it for a Christmas present or something. And
it's a great outlook.
Took a shot, and 9 years later, we're in Australia, Scandinavia, Europe, Mexico, Canada.
That's awesome.
New Zealand, all over the world.
Even the Kiwis can have some.
Even the Kiwis are allowed to have some. We have 9 flavors in the line. We have tools, grilling accessories, and everything has been, every seasoning is something that I developed myself. Mm-hmm. And all the tools that we've added to the line are stuff that I've used that I'm like, this is something that why aren't more people using trimming knives, boning knives for cutting their meat just like a butcher would? Like, why is everyone using chef knife? We need to get a boning knife in the line, that kind of thing.
Is that the steak knife? Oh, the red one.
The steak knife's the steak knife.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know it was called that. But it's not called that.
It's not called that. It's all good.
That's neat. And yeah, I remember the first time seeing it, it was an academy for me. Mm-hmm. I saw you first on the BarberQuest show.
Oh, really?
I was like beginning to, my platform was getting big enough that it kind of went through the phase of like, are you trying to be an influencer?
Or you just
what are you doing? Yeah, why are you videoing this? Like it's kind of nerdy and silly that you're doing it. You're a TikTok cowboy now. And then when it finally started to become a thing, be getting a big enough platform, catching different eyes, the Texas Beef Council, I'd known a few people there, and they were like, would you ever be interested in like collaborating on anything? I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, to do that, we want you to watch this show. I was like, all right, deal. And so I watched it, and that's where I saw your stuff, the Hardcore Carnivore seasoning. I was like, I've seen that somewhere. But it was at Academy where I saw it. Mm-hmm. But the BarberQuest show, I mean, you don't just, like to get called up on a TV show to be a host, to be, like that's a completely different job than cooking beef. Because there's a whole lot that can cook it. I mean, both of those things aren't combined very often, I feel like.
Yeah, and I got lucky as well. You know, I don't want to say I'm a triple threat, but watch out, guys.
Flex.
Flex. You can have presence in front of a camera, which we all do. You can be an expert in something as well, which we all are in different ways. And on top of that, I think that's where the meat science was clutch, because I got brought in to co-host season 3 because Kelsey, who was the original host of BarberQuest, the whole point was that she was a layperson learning about it. And they're like, listen, for season 3, we want to make it not just about the food, but about the ranches and tell that whole farm to plate story. But we need someone to go along with her who can translate. And so that, I think, is the most valuable role that I play, be it on BarberQuest or what I feel like I do now on social, which is connect ag and meat and the people who produce it with the consumer, because I'm now able to speak both languages.
Yeah.
So it's like a translator.
It really is.
And then I could do it on camera. So glad
So you got that's where I saw BarberQuest. And then I remember, trying the Hardcore Carnivore seasoning, obviously loving it because I still use it a lot today. And then I was like, how do I, like she's in Austin. I'm on social media. I do cattle and beef. It would be a good collaboration. How do I get seen by Jess Pryles? And so what I did was we were pushing cows up the Condrens, moving some cows, and I did like a story, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get her because I have an Australian accent. I was like, she's gonna see it because I have an Australian accent, and I did the story of like, I was like, yeah, we're moving a couple cows over here, just some Sheilas and blokes. Hey, get over here. Moved her over.
Oh, so he gets a good job on it.
Did you hear yourself?
I thought I sounded great.
You did. You just didn't sound Australian.
No.
And I tagged Jess Pryles, and I was like doing my best Jess Pryles impression or something. Mm-hmm. And then all I got back was like laughing faces, and that was terrible.
And then you're like, I don't know if I really made her mad or she thought it was actually funny.
Yeah. But since then, like we connected probably first at Beef Cattle Short Course through the Texas Beef Council.
That's right.
Got to speak at the same cattle conventions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Taught me how to play roulette.
That was important. That was probably the more fun things that we've done together. Are you up on that still? Did you walk away?
I think I was down. I think I'm down. I'm going to have to go back.
Put it all on red or black.
I don't remember.
No, you got to go birthday numbers.
Birthday numbers?
Yeah, we did birthday numbers on like...
I don't think I've ever gone on a number. I've always just done red or black.
What day? What's your birthday?
January 1st.
3061.
Oh, yeah.
January 1st?
New Year's,
I
baby.
forgot about that.
Hey, there you go.
Ruined all the fun for my parents. Started right off the bat.
The whole year.
Just ruining parties.
But you just seem to make these. It's not an overnight success. Obviously, you're 10 on your seasoning.
I've been on Instagram, man, for 15 years. Do you know how old I feel? We're having young whippersnappers like you come up out of no.
Kids these days, man.
I know, right? Yeah, I've been on social media a long time.
It's a grind, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's a grind because it also keeps changing the rules on you. You know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, no, now you can't do this. Now we're not going to tell you what to do anymore. But also, sorry, we're
Yeah.
taking your views away.
Yeah.
Or
The
trying
algorithm's changing, but then social trends are changing too. Like there's a lot of factors that are at play that are never constant.
And so how is that for y'all? Like, I would say that you guys are probably grinding a little bit heavier on the social side of things, just because I'm old and tired of it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we do. That's like our main thing, probably.
Yeah.
Is the socials.
So how do you deal with the pressure to keep changing as the algorithm changes?
I just follow Tucker. Like Tucker's like, hey, this is my video idea, and I just want this made. Like
Yeah.
he comes up with the idea, and then he's like, how can we make this? And then I just press the red button and we make it. Because Slusher was asking me that yesterday. He's like watching your videos, like it's like super easy to tell like you guys are just having fun, but like they're super entertaining, but they're also like they're great videos. Like, do you guys work on that together? Like, who's the brains behind it? It's like it's all Tucker. Like Tucker just, it's like, hey, I've got this idea. Can you make this for me? So you have to talk to him.
That's where I
He's
needed
the-
the
he's
help.
the brains.
It always. I mean, I always enjoy. I've enjoyed media for a long time. I've done sports broadcasting this will be my 11th year.
Oh, wow.
I do football.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. One day I'm gonna have Tony Romo in here. Or Jim Nance.
Yeah,
we're
Tony
gonna
Romo
talk.
would be
He's
cool,
gonna
I
go through the
guess.
Tucker Brown experience.
Yeah, Tony Romo would be cool.
Can't wait to see you glove him up.
Right. Exactly.
Tom Brady'd be a lot cooler, but that doesn't matter. We'll just keep going with the
Well, he doesn't eat beef, so
Yeah,
it
he
wouldn't.
does.
Does he not?
He's
He eats beef. That is a lie.
How do
No,
you
he
know?
doesn't.
How do you know, though?
I'll bet you pull up his Instagram. He's eating steak.
do it. He doesn't eat beef.
Watch. I'll
What's
text
his,
him real
what's
quick.
his problem?
He has a very strict diet on. That's worked for him. I mean,
I guess.
but it's like very much a vegetarian, closer to a vegetarian diet.
I guess but he also seems really unhappy.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
With
Yeah.
all those rings and
Yeah, but what does that mean if you don't have joy in your life?
he does have joy.
Does he, though?
Does he?
I don't think he's a vegetarian. That's all I'm saying.
He's vegetarian.
He's not posting.
You're saying
any
he's
pictures of his
vegetarian
food.
adjacent, right? Like he probably just eats chicken or something?
Probably.
Oh,
Oh.
he's got ham on his plate here, so that's
yeah,
me.
it's not beef, though, is it?
No, it's not. Beef is superior.
Clearly.
While you look it up, we're gonna go to one of my favorite segments of the show.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go to the Ag Gear hot seat. So it was hot yesterday, but
It
the seat's gonna get hot because you're not wearing Ag Gear, and if you were, it would keep you cool.
There you
like
go.
I'm wearing. Been wearing these shirts for a long time. Use code Tucker Brown at Ag Gear Online and save 15%. Wear the shirts the Cowboys do.
15, but not even a
15.
10, a 15%?
15% discount. All right, welcome to the Ag Gear hot seat. We got some questions from the audience.
Oh, okay.
What is your favorite beef cut right now?
It's got to be that picanha, the top sirloin cap.
Picanha.
It is so good. Texture, flavor, the way that it looks at you so lovingly. It's just saying, "Eat me. Come on, go ahead and eat me."
It was great yesterday. What wood do you like to cook on, or what do you like to cook over, rather?
You know, it's funny you brought that up. So I cook mainly over post oak because that's what we have a lot of in Central Texas. And obviously we're cooking on mesquite yesterday. And I forgot, which was my bad, how much hotter mesquite burns. So mesquite is better to grill over.
Oh, it's just that hot? I mean,
Yeah,
it is that big of a difference.
Correct. So that's why I think as well, like I was like
Wow.
telling you like, no, bring some extra logs just in case.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, no, we are not going to need extras because I'd completely forgot it was mesquite. So, yeah.
It did get hot.
Yeah. Mesquite is great for grilling, but post oak's a good all-rounder.
Uh-huh.
That's
What's your favorite, what's the right word? How do you like to cook it? Rare to well done. Where do you like to cook
It
it?
depends on the cut.
Okay.
I mean, it's never well done, honestly. But some cuts do better. Like, I like a ribeye and picanha at medium rare, but like a tri-tip is better pushed to the medium side. So I like pull it at like 138, 139, not 130.
Oh, you pull it at 138. You don't get it to 138. You pull it at 138.
Well, like I get it to 138, yes,
And then pull it. Okay.
and then it'll probably rise just a degree or two.
Sure.
But there are certain cuts that are just too gummy. Like the texture just performs better for me at a different one.
How do you cook a fillet?
I don't. No one eats filet. It doesn't have any flavor.
I mean, that's true. But that's the only beef I've ever sent you, so now I feel bad.
I forgot about that part.
Womp
Right
womp.
into it. I thought it was a trick question. Filet would be medium rare.
Medium rare on the fillet.
I like. So the thing with filet is like I know it's considered the king of steaks. The problem is you're making that sacrifice. So it's the opposite of a brisket, right? Brisket's really tough but packed with flavor, and filet extremely tender but quite lacking in flavor. So if you are someone who wants a lot of beefy presence, this is why I'm in love with the picanha at the moment, because it's quite tender for what it is, and it's just got that big kind of like juicy beef release when you first bite into it.
It is interesting that it has that because I feel like the flavor starts at the front, like the brisket, and then as you go back, it kind of loses flavor, but the sirloin's back there, and it would have plenty, right?
Yeah, have you ever smoked a beef shank?
No, I never have.
There's plenty of flavor in the shank as well. It's nearly more proportionate to the use of the muscle more than anything. The tougher, the more use it gets.
Used.
I mean, you got to cook them differently, but
science, bro.
It's science. And then there's some cuts that taste like really serum-y or minerally, like top blade, flat iron, outside skirt, hanger steak. You know, they've got those kind of like funky. Y'all have had those, right?
Yeah, I cooked some outside skirt for Willie at the lake one time, and
I loved it.
I thought I had brought plenty, but I did not.
Had me a couple Coors Lights.
That was his first experience with Hardcore Carnivore Black as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It was a big day for you.
Contrary to popular belief, I do not think Tucker founded Hardcore Carnivore. I was just giving you a hard time.
I knew it was
hilarious.
You. At some point yesterday, he turns around and says to me, or he just says to everyone else but me, which is the part that made me believe it for a hot
But I wanted to make it loud enough that you could hear it. I was
so
playing
good.
mind games.
He turned around and goes, "Who owns Hardcore Carnivore anyway?" And I'm like, "Oh, this shit again." Yeah.
I'm starting to like this guy, but he sucks.
It's a guy called Jesse.
It's a guy.
He's great.
What is if you go out to eat in Austin, where do you go? Favorite place?
We mix it up. We try and do date nights at least once a month, and we'll go to where have we gone lately that you liked? Do you remember? The short stop, Great Burgers. That's not date night, but it's Great Burgers. There's a place on the east side called Este that's Mexican seafood. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Where else? Just hit me.
See, she's in the hot seat.
Yeah, this really is the hot seat.
No, he's in the hot seat.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm phoning a friend, and my friend's not saying anything. There's about. I'll tell you what.
La Casina.
ATX Casino. Yeah, that's pretty good too. And I tell you what, everyone always asks me what my favorite barbecue joint is, and there's not one.
Okay.
I'll give you a list: Leroy and Lewis, Micklethwait, La Barbecue, Moreno Barbecue, and there's also Interstellar. I'm sure I'm missing other people who are amazing, but there's a place that's opened up in Austin called Mum Fine Foods, and I haven't taken Chris there yet. I'm sorry, I will. And they do. It's like if a Jewish deli, like a New York style deli, met a barbecue joint. Mm-hmm. So they do pastrami, but they do it on an offset smoker with post oak, and it's the best pastrami you've ever had in your life. And so I'm kind of in love with that place at the moment too.
Is Interstellar Barbecue in Austin? Or close to Austin?
Technically, yes. It's
Matthew McConaughey reference there.
Did he really?
Because he's in that movie called Interstellar where he did great, and he's from Austin. So I would go out on a limb and say that's why they called it that.
Well, before the new Texas Monthly list, sorry, hang on, let's just acknowledge Willie's joke. Good job.
I thought that was, it wasn't a joke. It was an observation. I feel like
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Listen, I got this barbecue joint called Interstellar.
Oh my
He's so good at Matthew
Pretty
McConaughey.
great. I love Austin. Okay.
He even has the whistle and everything. It's pretty dang good.
That was great. Wow, hidden talent.
It'd be cool if I got paid for the things I could do.
We need to get Matthew McConaughey on the podcast, and then you guys can talk about Austin barbecue.
Have you started doing a Matthew McConaughey ranching series?
Yeah.
I've done it once.
I feel like
Need to
there
bring
needs
it back.
to be more.
Need to bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something like that's the truck guy calling me. But it was something like, what do? You just get the bull, you get the cow, and fairy dust. All of a sudden, you got this great bull calf. Okay.
Oh my God, if you turn this way, it's like we're sitting right next to you.
I know. I'm talking about the R.A. Brown Ranch.
Look, it's more. This is a legacy. It's not just a ranch. Okay.
So good.
It is, and especially in the microphones, that's even better.
It does. And it sounds way better in the microphone.
Doing all right.
See, that's the weakest part.
Do you think he gets annoyed with that? Like, hey, do the roar,
I bet
do
he
the
does.
roar, like, do the
I bet
all
he does.
right.
I bet he does.
Oh,
What were
here
we
we-
talking about? Sorry, I got us on.
I don't know.
She was talking about the best
barbecue.
barbecue places in Austin, and then she wanted an Interstellar, and then I
Okay, we got to finish the hot seat.
Hey,
here.
hang on. How would he pronounce Interstellar?
Interstellar.
There you go.
He's like, hold on. That's right.
I had to get in the moment.
In the zone.
So to finish out the hot seat here, 3 questions: sear first or reverse sear?
I do a just keep flipping.
JKF. Just keep
Don't look
flipping.
up hashtag JKF. It's some weird Korean
Oh,
lady thing.
okay.
Found that out the hard way.
So just keep flipping.
Just keep flipping. 4 words. I like to turn it constantly over really high heat. You saw me doing it yesterday when I cook the steaks. It builds a great crust, and then if you have something really thick, that's when you'd finish it indirect. But I mean, also
on that
patient.
point, I don't want to forget that there's a lot of people who like the grill marks at a steakhouse, and that's the best tasting part. But what I like about Hardcore Carnivore is that it makes the whole steak taste like that.
Yeah. So the grill marks thing needs to go.
It does need to go.
Like that is a false flag. You know
Very.
what I'm saying?
Or they're like, oh, I love it because that's the best part. And I'm like, you could have your whole
the
steak
whole
taste like
steak
that.
could be seared properly. That would be amazing.
Leave it to the cartoons.
Yeah, that's called the
Leave it in the
Maillard
cartoons.
reaction.
Yeah.
That's a whole science, a food science thing too.
Wow.
That's why it's like that.
Huh.
Okay.
We're getting into psychology.
All right, let's go Wagyu or prime Angus ribeye. Wagyu ribeye, prime Angus ribeye.
Is it full blood or American Wagyu?
Your choice.
I'm probably going to go prime Angus, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe a little too much of a good thing? Or does it just change
I'm
it
a
a
little.
lot?
I shouldn't say that. You know, here's my actual answer. My actual answer is it depends. Can you pick
Good answer.
one outfit for the rest of your life? You know what I'm saying? I mean, one
Ag gear.
obviously is ag gear, but like, are you always going to wear the black ag gear shirt, or maybe
Probably
you're
not.
going to go for the beige
Yeah.
ag gear shirt one day? It depends on the circumstance. So
Fair enough.
it's yeah.
Bone in or boneless?
Boneless cooks better.
Interesting. Well, welcome out of the hot seat.
Thank you.
You did good in the hot seat. Go to Ag Gear, use code Tucker Brown, get 15% off, and get you that real cowboy outerwear.
You can lower that MSRP.
Lower the MSRP.
Yeah,
Never
get a whole
changes.
bunch of colors so you don't ever have to just pick one.
Yeah.
It's true. When you could have it all.
I'm still
Going
just
more-
thinking about your McConaughey impression.
It's good. It's good.
As we face a little more towards ranchers here, is there something you wish ranchers knew more about when it comes to your line of work? Or maybe it goes all the way to consumer. What do you wish the rancher knew more about?
That's a really good question. I'm not even sure how to answer it. Know that there are people out there advocating for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, one of the things that I like to say as well is this is probably more related to the producer side than just a straight up rancher. I feel very strongly that celebrating all kinds of meat is what makes meat win. I know there's a lot of small holders and producers, particularly when they wholesale direct to public, and they don't have the budget or they can't do anything against the big guys, right? So they say things like safer, healthier.
I hate that.
And the problem when you do that is because it's the only marketing avenue that maybe is available to you as a differentiation. You suggest that somehow other meat is not safe or
Yes.
healthy. And then all that's doing with consumers is creating a distrust in the entire industry. And as we listen, can we be real for a second?
Do it.
Y'all know that if you didn't finish out your animals on higher quality, like if you have a grass-fed operation that's just feeding Texas grass, it's probably not going to be very good beef.
It's going to be hard to make it really good.
It's
Yeah.
going to be very, very difficult to make it very
Like
good.
there are a few guys that I know that can do it. And
And then how long do they have to keep them on it?
their work is they have to move them 2 to 3 times a day to make them eat enough to get enough marbling in the beef. Mm-hmm. I mean, they do a lot of work to make it that high choice prime beef,
And
which still tastes different.
It does taste different. There's a gamier gaminess to it, like in a pleasant way. But then it's the same thing, like just like with the quality of what your cattle are eating, no matter where it's from, it's the same as, having really good butter or really good dairy. If you eat grass-finished product from a place where the grass is bright emerald green, it's also going to taste different. It's not just about the marbling, right? So the point is this. There's room in the market for everybody, but trying to say that something is, like creating that mistrust really kind of ruins it for everyone, I think.
Yes, agree.
Because then if you can't deliver on the flavor, like, see a lot of people at farmers markets, and there's a lot of folks out there doing a really amazing stuff, but there's a lot of folks out there that, it's not universally excellent quality beef just because it comes from a small rancher too. So
Agreed.
find the right niche, I guess, is what I would say, without trying to send the wrong message.
That's good. Because that kills me on social. I mean,
Yeah.
people think because I stand for the larger beef industry that I don't stand for a local producer too.
They're not exclusive. They're not
Correct.
mutually exclusive.
I totally agree.
We
I just don't
support all
stand.
beef.
Yeah, I just don't
Exactly.
stand for one hating on the other. Mostly comes from the local producer, especially on social media.
Which you're also a local producer at the same time.
Right. I sell my own beef.
Which a lot of people don't know that. Maybe we need to make a
Maybe,
video
yeah.
on that.
Maybe we need to.
They've got so many ideas now, guys. It's amazing.
See, you come here and now we'll just have the creative juices flowing. We're just,
If
It's because we let them rest, so now it's juicier.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there?
yeah, I get it.
if you could cook for anyone in your backyard, who would it be besides Chris?
I mean, at this point, it's got to be Matthew McConaughey. I feel like it needs to be Tucker Brown.
Hey,
Like, you haven't come down and let us cook for you yet?
I haven't.
What's wrong with you?
I've been in Austin a few times, but it's always just like
Just a snap visit.
it is. Yeah, it's
Matthew
always super
McConaughey is
quick.
in your backyard, so that would be a correct answer.
Yeah, let's go for that. Do you feel? I feel like it would be super fun to have him over.
Oh, I would love to hang out with him.
Yeah.
He's
Like-
my favorite actor.
It
by
would be
far.
that, and then like 3 hours later, I'd be inside cleaning up and come back out, and he and Chris would be in their boxer shorts playing bongos, on the lawn.
With some whiskey.
And imagine, like, that'd be great. That'd be a core memory.
Yeah, I'm already imagining it. It's great.
All right, we're going to move to one of my favorite segments of the podcast, brought to you by Bedrock Truck Beds. We're looking at the Bedrock Tough Question.
Ooh.
We use Bedrock Truck Beds because they're the toughest ones out there. That's why we have 2 of them at the ranch. That's what we use. So check out Bedrock Truck Beds.
You
if
know
need
who
a
else can
flatbed.
vouch for those?
Who can?
Cola.
Cola loves Bedrock.
That's her home.
Yeah. Yeah, my dog Cola. She was a good time yesterday.
Yeah, she's a good
Home
girl.
away from home.
She lives on that truck bed. And
Yeah, she loves it.
Mm.
That's her spot. All right, what is the toughest thing? I forgot what we said. What is the toughest thing about? I've got 3 in my head right now.
I know, you pick it. You call it.
What is the toughest thing about? I'm trying to think of which one is harder for you.
Why is it? Does he always do this?
No, normally I have a pretty good one, but I feel
No,
like
I mean,
all 3
like,
of
do
these
you
could go.
try and make it super tough? Right?
Oh, yeah.
No, I try to go which one that is the toughest for you to do, which means you probably know the most about it.
Got
because
it,
It's
got
a
it.
challenge.
Got it. Makes sense.
I mean, what is the toughest thing about busting myths in beef, in cooking? In cooking, not just beef, in cooking.
I mainly do meat science myth busting, I
Okay.
would say. Because cooking is personal, right? So I'm not going to tell someone that they're wrong for liking their steak well done. That just
Yeah.
means that they don't like juicy tenderness.
Which we had an intern have her first steak that was not
Yeah.
well done yesterday.
Yeah, she was very brave. I was very proud of her. So how you like something, whether you like fall off the bone ribs or a bit of a bite to it or how you like your steak, that's personal. When it comes to meat myth busting, especially in terms of food safety, the hardest thing is when you can show data and science to people of like, here, do not wash your chicken before you cook it because heat will kill any bacteria on the outside and the inside if you cook it properly, which is why we cook it to this degree, because here's the data that shows you the temperature at which salmonella dies or E. coli or whatever it is. And they go, and you say also, if you wash it, you've got a higher risk of cross-contamination, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of folks that wash chicken with vinegar and lemon as well. And like
Really?
there's also studies like here is the peer-reviewed study that says you do not kill the salmonella bacteria by using both. Like here is the data, here is the information, and then they still go, I don't care. You don't know what you're talking about. This is the way to do it. That is the hardest thing. It is so hard to present people with, hey, there are some things in life that you decide how you prefer it. And then there's other things that's like, I'm sorry, this is scientifically the best way to do something.
These are facts.
Yes,
You can't.
they are facts. And if you argue with them, I don't know what that makes you, but yeah, I don't know if we could say that on here.
No, I mean that's the hardest part about ours too, is because there's so much about, cattle and climate change and pollution.
It's not even the farts; it's the burps.
It's just so it's ridiculous. Like how much unknown there is, and then social media leads them to believe one thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it does depend. Like it depends is an answer.
Yeah. Well, but even with like when Impossible Meat like made an impact for a hot minute before everyone realized it was complete garbage, and like you realize how how ultra processed, how unhealthy, and then also the environmental impact of growing all of that pea protein.
Yeah, literally the opposite of what they thought they were helping.
Honey.
You're making it worse.
Also, I don't think that vegetarians should be allowed to eat lab-grown meat either.
Yeah.
I call it original sin. Because
Okay.
if not for the original sin of someone eating meat to begin with and knowing how good it tastes, you wouldn't be
have it.
eating that. So I don't even want vegetarians to have meat-flavored things. I feel like that's cheating too.
It is cheating.
What do y'all think?
I'm up for that.
Yeah,
Hot
I
take
agree.
that I agree with.
Also,
I don't even know if it's a hot take, but
Tom Brady is not a vegetarian. I looked it up on TB12.
okay.
It's an 80% plant-based diet, 20%. He said, people think that I'm a vegetarian, and I'm not, and I'm decidedly not. He just finds a lot of nutrients in plants, I guess, that helps him with his recovery. But he finds a lot of nutrients and health in a
Does he eat
balanced
beef?
diet.
What's the plant that he neutralizes?
It just said a lot of a really green, I don't know. I just saw
ChatGPT.
that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on him, but I'm just a fan of. I'm on a high protein diet.
Yeah, I am too.
And it's
I'm not
changed
saying
my
I'm
life.
going to convert to that.
Right.
I think
But I think he's
he is from California.
he's
He's
an exception of a person.
Yes.
At his life.
I feel like his diet has helped him out a lot. Maybe not so much, but I think the biggest thing is he's just a dog
He is
on
a
the
dog.
football field.
He's got Okay.
Well, and
Tom
maybe
avoids.
with women as well. Did you see all that?
Oh yeah.
He dog all the way around.
Tom avoids heavily processed foods and tries to minimize red meat.
Well, there's your problem.
He will try lean grass-fed beef occasionally. No
See?
wonder he
There you
doesn't
go.
like it.
Yeah, he's trying the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Poor guy needs to get a steak from the
ridiculous.
R.A. Brown Ranch.
All right, we're going to go to one of my favorite segments of the podcast.
His favorite one.
One of my favorite segments. You get to become the host.
Oh yes.
You're the
And you
host.
get to ask. Willie always gets out of this, but you get to ask me or Willie a question.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've been asking you a few
You
questions.
have been, and I like that because it's great banter.
I wish you told me this in advance so I could be ready for it.
Well, I didn't want I didn't want a bedrock
Yeah.
tough question to me.
oh. God.
Because we already have the bedrock truck bed, so
Right.
we don't need the really tough question. We already.
What's? Ooh, no. I'm gonna give each of you. Can I give each of you a question?
Yep.
All right.
I mean, I'm normally just chilling over here. It's all
Hey, look
about
at that
talking.
shirt you got over there.
What-
Yeah, available at registeredranching.com.
Home of the Cowboy.
I was going
Is
to
that
bring it
right?
up at the end.
United States.
See if I got in trouble for wearing a T-shirt on the podcast. Thought you were going to be a little upset, but then I'd be like,
Really?
Tucker, this is the brand new Registered Ranching merch drop for 4th of July because we love America here.
Amen.
And this is an America shirt. And if you don't love America, you're not going to get the shirt. But if you do love America,
Then you
you're
can
already
have
going to have this in your cart. You're going to registeredranching.com right now and getting you ranching American-inspired merchandise.
And you better get on it if you want. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if this is going to air after 4th, but
It will.
It'll air.
We're
before
already
the
too
4th.
late.
Before the, it'll air
but you
before
can
the
always love America.
Yeah.
I'm actually an American citizen now.
If you're listening to this
Yeah,
after
I
the
saw
4th
that.
of July,
That was
you
cool.
can
I thought
still
that was
get it.
cool that you shared that. I thought that was.
USA, USA, USA.
I'm like,
What's the?
passport? The
Aussie.
one with the eagle on it. That's right.
That's
I wish
right.
we had a cool deal like Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. I
do.
thought I think that's so different than everybody else. Just
USA
chanting.
chant.
Yeah.
USA,
It's the same. There's just no call and response. You need a call and response one. Okay, that's my question to you. Come up with a good call. What would the response be? Like, what would a good call and response chant be? Hit me.
I already have it. So the chant leader, I guess, is what you would call it.
It's a yell leader if you're
yell leader.
A&M, right?
Yeah.
I support the Nittany Lions. Someone yells, "Who's number one?" And then USA, USA. But that's how you start it. Number one, and then USA.
No, but there has to be a call and a response every time. Like,
Wait, are you
Aussie,
saying
Aussie,
number one
Aussie.
is a question?
Oi,
Yeah,
oi.
that's what they say.
Like
they
number one?
Number one.
Who's number one?
USA, USA. So rather than saying Aussie, 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 it's just number one because that's what we are.
So
We're the
it'd be
greatest who's ever
USA,
been.
number one, USA.
No, it's just number one, then USA,
Oh.
USA.
All right.
You don't think we're number one?
Wow, you really threw him under the bus there.
Of course I do. Man.
But I think that's what he's saying. It's not a question.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to ask the question.
Then we're just stating number one, and then we're letting everyone else
There you
know it's
go.
USA.
There you go.
But that's it.
Let's make it happen. You guys should go back to a Sod Poodles game and start
start it.
Sod
Like
Poodles
that.
game.
It's like the wave. Do you know that the wave in Australia is called the Mexican wave?
Why?
It is. I was like, what do you mean you just call it the wave?
You don't have to put all that on.
Mexico's literally right there.
It's right there. We can't get it closer any farther.
The Mexican way.
Can you ask your next Australian intern about that?
Yes, I will.
I swear I'm not making it up.
I will. That's hilarious.
All right.
I'm guessing because of soccer would probably make sense because soccer's so big down there and they do the wave all the time.
Maybe.
And that's what I would think.
Do you think?
Yeah.
All right, you got your question?
Yeah. Who is the account that you absolutely hate and continue to follow?
Oh.
No.
I've got a few of those.
Yeah, we all have hate follow accounts. Like,
got a
we're
few
just
of
like,
those.
oh my God, did you see how annoying this person is today? Right?
Yeah, I think we have a similar one.
Okay,
but
we're
we'll
not.
talk about that off air.
Please. That's our subscription only podcast. If you want to hear who
Yeah.
just sign up for that. What is your highlight and low light of what being on social media has brought you?
The highlight has been going to places that I would have never gone before. I don't know how long it would have been before I went to the NFR if it weren't for social media. I love the NFR.
That was fun. I'll see you there this year too.
Yes, we'll be there.
Heck yeah.
And then, I probably never would have gone to the Pendleton Roundup. I never would have went to New York City to be in a studio.
For
Have
vanity.
you
Vanity
seen
Fair.
the movie The Cowboy Way?
I don't think I have.
It's got Woody Harrelson in it.
That's right. It's about them going to New York City.
Yeah.
Cowboys going to New York City. So now you have to watch.
I now do. That's been the highs. The experiences have been the highs. Rather, like I enjoy the media production, making, coming up with the story, the humor, but the experiences have been the high. The lows, part of the low is that there's not many days or any days where that doesn't cross my mind. Like, what? I need to make the next one. Even if I get a milli bomb, even if I make a great video running on a horse American flag, gets a couple million views,
More
it's
pressure.
like, now I got to do that again.
Yeah.
And that's all, like, whether I'm at the lake with my family, whether I'm cooking, I feel pressured to record it.
And sometimes it makes it hard, at least for me, to be present.
Yeah.
Because you feel like I don't know if y'all noticed yesterday, like I was so determined to enjoy it and obviously was lucky enough to have y'all recording and Slusher capturing photos. I think I recorded one single story.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be there because I've gone through so many years of just like being nearly distracted by thinking about what is this going to look like after the fact instead of being in it because you
fair.
just don't want to miss out on it.
And I have trouble making that content in front of other people. Like yesterday, I felt weird. Like, hey, y'all want to take an Instagram story picture real quick?
Why?
Like, even though I knew both of you,
And that we all do that.
yeah, I know. Even around other influencers, it
Yeah.
is hard for me to do that in front of. I don't mind it in front of, like, if I'm at the ranch and like it's with my coworkers or anything, but in front of other people outside of the ranch, it gets weird for me. Just a mental block, I guess.
Yeah, I hear that.
He's just a small town guy.
It's the Throckmorton in me.
It's the Throckmorton. You know.
It's got that 730, 80. How many?
What?
How many 700 and how many?
727.
727.
727.
727 people.
What's next for Jess Pryles and Hardcore Carnivore?
We always got stuff in the R&D pipeline. We did just release new products this year, butter mixes. We got some new sausage flavors we're working on. Those are exclusive at HEB.
Hey, those were great yesterday.
They're fun.
Those
We had
sausages
those.
were great. Mix it with some corn dip. Come
Did
on.
I? Oh, I cut all the links. I didn't give you a whole link.
I mean, I didn't care.
I'm
I
the worst.
kept eating.
Ooh, this is kind of distracting, but I have a great question for Jess.
Okay.
Yeah, hit me.
As also a consumer of beef, not like Tom Brady, I love red meat. What's the best way to re-prepare meat? So you gave me a pile of meat,
Yeah.
a bunch of sausage. You gave me a bunch of picanha. I have that in my fridge right now, wrapped in tinfoil. What's the best way for me to go and just put it in the microwave, or what do you think?
So the best way to reheat beef or meat is probably a method that not many people have access to, which is, well, no, that's not true. Probably sous vide, which is that,
Really?
yeah, because it's so gentle and slow and it doesn't alter the flavor. So
What is
that's
that?
it's a device that goes into water and it circulates the water and heats it up, but it's at a really, really low temp, like 140 or something like that. And so it very gently, you put the food in a bag like vac seal, and then you can immerse it in the water to heat back up. The second to that, you can kind of do a version of that at home where if you have a vacuum sealer, you can vacuum seal it and just put it in a pot of water that's kind of like simmering really low. I know this is all reeks of effort. Realistically, that's best practice. Microwave is the worst because the way that it cooks meat, it accelerates the decomposition process. So that flavor that we associate with the microwave, the warmed over flavor, is actually oxidative rancidity. So it's getting that fat
That didn't
to kind
sound
of
good.
turn more.
Oxidative
Some people like
rancidity?
that flavor. Well, that's when meat goes bad. It's the fat turning. So it starts accelerating that on smaller levels. Like you all know what I'm talking about. That microwave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some people actually like that flavor.
Not my favorite.
And so if you want to avoid that, I would probably just get out a skillet, chop it into small pieces, and then you get extra. It's called the Maillard reaction, that browning and that searing. So even though it's being reheated, and even though you might take it over, like because at this point it's hard to keep it at medium rare, right? So if you're not going to keep it at medium rare, at least you can get more of that seared flavor on there.
And it'll be a lot better tasting than having it straight out of the microwave.
Microwave
Oh, yeah.
taste.
So that would be your recommendation. Because I feel like a lot of people go through that. You're like, oh man, I've got these 2 extra steaks. I'm gonna put them in the fridge, and like, well, I've been putting them in the microwave. They don't taste as good. So like,
What about the air fryer?
Oh, also that'd also be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I would chop them. It's hard to reheat a steak to still be a steak.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
if you're gonna cube them or dice it finely and throw in a taco or something like that, that's
Sweet.
your best bet.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I learned something new every day. I think it was you that said that you didn't realize that it wasn't blood that was coming up out of the steak. I too did not know that.
You didn't know that?
Back when I was in high school, I worked at a concession stand at a minor league baseball stadium. Shout out Iberty Nirenbirds. And I'd be on the grill, cooking burgers, and they'd all like the guy that was teaching me would be like, yeah, just keep them right there until that blood starts coming up out of it, and then you flip them. So I just always thought it was blood until yesterday.
Oh, you didn't know till yesterday?
Until yesterday when you said that,
Myoglobin.
I was filming, so I was able to play it off like
Pretty cool.
it's like what?
Yeah.
Inside my head though, my mind was blown. I was like, that's not blood.
Meat is made up of 75% water, so are we, because we're just muscle waiting to be converted into meat. And so it's water that's mixed with the protein called myoglobin, which is what gives meat its color. That's why when you were cooking those burgers and it nearly looked like it turned like opaque, those little like things that form on the surface, because it's protein.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I did not know that. Also, that also disproves the fact that there's red meat dye in beef. It's not a dye. It's
That's one of the biggest myths out there.
Red
yeah.
meat.
I hear that all the time. But now I know why. I can explain. It's just a natural color. Well, it's because of
Close.
myoglobin.
Yeah.
Myoglobin.
There you go. Think about blood is hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin, myoglobin.
There you go. Nailed it. Except for that won't work on the people who go, no, it's not. It's dye. I know it.
Then
Saw it on a website once.
all right, man. Well,
Heard it on Facebook.
You have a great life. I hope I never see you again.
Sounds good.
Good luck in all of your adventures.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll have a really happy life.
Yeah.
Where else were we? What's next? Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Developing new product. I'm going to Sweden in 2 weeks
let's go.
to visit our distributor there and cook some.
Whoa.
Dang, that's cool.
There's a steakhouse there called AG. They're on the top 10 steakhouses of the world. They use black on their menu. So
Come on.
yeah, right. So see, whether it's in the field or in a fancy kitchen, I love that it belongs. So doing that, and I'm writing a cookbook. My show comes out. Season 2 comes out. I'll be part of Grill Week on Taste Made. Outdoor Channel Season 2 comes out in September. The show's called Hardcore Carnivore. The book will be out October 2026 if I ever finish writing it, because it's due in September.
Better hustle.
Gotta make it happen. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm sure your timeline is no different. If you don't have enough stuff in the bucket on the timeline out, like you're like, oh God, I'm doing something
behind.
wrong. Yeah.
I'm behind. What am I not doing? That's fun.
It is fun.
That's fun.
It is fun.
Well, Jess Pryles, where can they follow you?
You can find me at Jess Pryles, Pryles, on all of the socials. And Hardcore Carnivore also has its own Facebook and Instagram too, and TikTok.
I don't know they had their
Besides the Hardcore Carnivore Black, what's your favorite?
I do love the sausages. The next most used, the biggest sleeper is Camo,
Okay.
which is the lamb and wild game seasoning, but I
Yeah.
actually love it for beef jerky because it's tasty. Have you ever had biltong, South African biltong?
No.
It's like their version of jerky, and they use a lot of crushed coriander, which is what's in Camo. So that's what I use on my jerky.
Interesting. Is the camo?
Is it Camo?
You look like you.
They have a Cajun seasoning.
Yeah.
Is that like,
like the
is that
Cajun
like
on-
Old Bay kind of?
Yeah, but better.
I'm gonna have to get my hands on that. I love
I
Old
got
Bay. Being a
Yeah,
Marylander,
I like it on shrimp.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to try some of that.
Grill some shrimp over the Traeger with some Cajun seasoning on it. I like
There
it.
you go.
Sorry, I just followed Hardcore Carnivore. I didn't realize you guys had your own Instagram.
That's okay.
Pretty much every time I go to cook anything new that I've never cooked, I see if you cook it. Pretty much. Like if you've put it on YouTube or something, it's like pretty much where, yeah. I'm
Rushing it.
I'm about to smoke a brisket. I need to reorient myself on how to do this. Jess Pryles how to cook a brisket.
Oh, thank you. You know you can always text me on the bat phone, though.
On the bat phone?
Yeah. Are you too old to get Batman references?
No, that's good. I've just never heard it called the bat
Yeah,
phone.
this is
That's
the bat.
good.
Well, like this is the I'm really in
The
it here and
emergency.
I need some
Help.
emergency advice. Yeah, that's when
Deal.
you text the bat phone cooking line.
Deal. It's so. I was just ignorant to cooking about 4 years ago, and then doing the beef. I was like, I'm gonna have to know how to cook this if I'm gonna sell it. So learning to cook it, and just like, it's easy to become the cooking hero for the cookout by watching a few YouTube videos and doing it and practicing like twice. I enjoy the process now. I never thought I would.
fun.
I'm also a dad, which makes you enjoy the
So what? The more time you get to spend out in the yard,
yeah,
better.
yeah.
That's
Get-
my
get the
theory
girls
about
outside.
why men have been hogging barbecue for so long.
Get
'Cause I
outside.
actually feel like women would be amazing at it. I feel like historically during hunter-gatherer times, they were probably the ones running the fires.
Oh.
And like everyone talks about their
good point.
grandma's
Yeah.
recipe book. You know, grandma
Oh,
was such
true.
a great cook.
Yeah.
But then we only traditionally think about guys cooking outdoors, and I feel like it was just because y'all wanted a big excuse to get out of the house for extended periods of
Now that we're not hunting anymore, we
Look,
gotta
this
go to the
brisket's
grocery
going to take
store.
me 12 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
and you can't talk to me or I'll ruin it.
It's also going to take 12 beers.
And the rest. And then you're going to have to let me sleep.
yeah. Yeah. I've been working. I'm tired.
I'm working hard all day.
On this brisket.
Well, thanks for being the first Tucker Brown Show experience.
This was I can recommend the experience. I give it a 5-star rating, and
That's so
it
cool.
was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. This was awesome.
Well, we always end it. We always like to end it with one of our favorite verses or something we've been studying. If you have one, you're welcome to share. One of my favorites is in Colossians 3:23. We always used it during basketball, actually, in college. But it's whatever you do it. Work at it with all your heart, working for the Lord and not for human masters. Which I think a lot of people who hustle and who have the hustle are doing that.
I like that subtle flux you had there. We always said this in basketball. In college.
in college.
Subtle.
D2.
Subtle flex. Yeah, not all of us can be Division II athletes.
Says the collegiate athlete over there.
Yeah, I was Division III. I was a division below you.
You'll be there one day. You can still go back. You haven't graduated
Still
yet.
go back. I forget how the eligibility works.
Might be out.
I'm just gonna have to try to walk on for the Cowboys to be a kicker. That's my next venture.
There you go. You're gonna have to go to Australia to learn football first.
Footy.
Yeah, footy.
Footy.
Do you have a verse?
What's footy? I do have a verse, but what's footy?
Football.
Like
Australian rules football.
It's a little different.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about soccer.
No, soccer. Australian rules football is bigger than soccer
There's a lot of kickers and
rugby's
punters in the
bigger than
NFL that
soccer.
come from Australia that are footy players.
because that's how everyone kicks in footy.
Okay.
That style of punting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Tucker. Thanks. It's nearly like you sportscast or something.
Hey.
Hey.
Jeremiah 29:11, I think is the one I shared on the last one. That pretty much sum up God's plans for you are not for your downfall. Like, no matter what's happening in your life, if it's hard, good, bad, whatever, ugly, like, it's all going to work out. Like, God's doing this for a reason in that.
Playing the long game.
He's got a good plan. He's playing the long game. It might not seem like it while you're in the trenches, but God's got a plan to benefit you.
It's a good one.
And at the end of the day, I mean, we know the end of this. Tucker says it all the time. We know the end of the story.
Yeah, we know Jesus wins.
It's pretty good
know
end.
the end
So
of the book.
even if it is everything is going down and you have no idea what to do, worst comes to worst, you're going to be hanging out with Jesus. Like, pretty cool.
Well, on that note, what I have to share is I'm Jewish,
Yeah.
but that
Old
means
Testament.
Correct. We all share the Old Testament, and
Yep.
I think that is the perfect example to share that you can all sit down at the table with folks who are from slightly different backgrounds, whether it be country or religion, and share a lot in common, have a great meal. So
Yep.
it's a good lesson in tolerance and reaching out to your neighbor.
And beef brought us together.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Beef and
is
God.
Best way to do it. Beef is the best. Jess Pryles, thank you.
You bet. Thank y'all.
How fun was that?
That was a great time.
Yeah. It's just like,
Here comes, and Matthew, what are you doing here, dude?
guys, I thought it started at 11. I'm so sorry.
Well, we'll start your Tucker Brown experience next.
Oh, man. Hey, we got some new caps coming up online.
New cap.
Check them out at registeredranching.com. Get you some merch.
Get you some burger. What are you doing?
Good. You've been listening to the Registered Ranching Podcast. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Give the show a 5-star review. Really helps us out. And check out our fun stuff on social media. Check out Jess Pryles and Hardcore Carnivore. You will not regret it. But one thing to not forget.
Don't forget it.
Don't forget. Y'all stay classy.
And ranch on them.
And ranch on them. We love you. God bless. Ranch on them.
Ranch on them.
Can I do my version?
Yeah.
Ranch on it. Does that work?
Do your Tucker Brown.
Oh, you have a Tucker Brown impression. Thanks, Chris.
Oh, you should do your. Who was I telling you?